Well, welcome in, everybody. I am here with Deek. Thanks, Deek, for joining us today.
Yes, got to be here.
So I just wanted to pull Deek aside because Deek has been part of the Jam Circle community for maybe a year or so now, but he kind of pulled me to the side one day and just said one of these messages that went out to him just really resonated. And so we had really great conversation about it. And I just kind of wanted to bring that here for everybody else to kind of listen into because I got a lot of insight and value from his feedback. And I feel like all of you can benefit the same as well. So, welcome again, Deek. Just want to turn over to you. Just a quick intro, like who are you? What do you do? What are you into? Things like that.
Cool. Well, my name's Digue. I am a 25-year-old registered nurse, and I work in the emergency room. Uh, some things that I'm into. I love sports. I love hanging out with friends. I love being around family, things like that, and um, just kind of living every day, like having a blast every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also a tidbit of info. Deke is my son's godfather, so that's another fun thing. It's just the connections, how deep they go, just with Deke. But cool. Yeah. So the registered nurse, like how was that experience for you? Because I think leading up to you were still doing nursing things like at the beginning
Mhm.
of the interaction, the whole jam, but it's like now you crossed over that bridge. So could you just speak a little bit about that experience?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's actually funny. The email we were talking about with Master Oogway from Kung Fu Panda, kind of talking about that path you're avoiding is kind of the path that ultimately you're supposed to take anyway.
Mhm.
So originally when I started college at Kennesaw, I was like, I don't want to be a nurse. Like my mom's a nurse, aunt's a nurse, everybody's a nurse. I don't want to be a nurse. And when I graduated, I think I took a year off just to take some time for myself, and then it was time to get back into school and figure out what's the next step. And ultimately, nursing found me somehow, some way. I got into nursing, and I think it's one of the best decisions that I've made so far. Nursing is a rewarding career, but it's also a tough career to be in as well. It definitely requires you to take some days to only like to think about yourself as well outside of work because you pour into people so much on a daily for 12 hours, three times a week, sometimes more depending. Um, and then when you're not at work, you just gotta figure out how to have self-care because a lot of people go through burnout and different things like that because they probably don't take care of themselves and kind of reflect. So with Jam and the emails that come out and reading the discussions, it's kind of how I kind of reflect on myself because I feel like at times I don't take time to reflect for myself. And so uh, reading just the emails, reading some of the discussion posts that's on the website, um, it kind of just makes me think about things in my life. Most recently, think I was reading your discussion about the car accident on the road, and I was like, man, maybe I need to take a defensive driving class because who would have thought? I need to look left, Who would have thought? Uh,
Yeah.
so that's just something that I really like about the Jam Circle and things like that.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, appreciate that. And that's I feel like that's the intention, which is great that it matches. It's just to have more like deep dive stories on the jam because it's just like this is like your again jam circle. It's like a
Yeah,
small, intimate group of people that you probably share more things with, have more creative ideas, connections with. Like if you're jamming, just playing musical instruments, right? Or rapping or doing poetry, just something where you get together and just like free flow. Let's just
yeah,
share what's going on. And the more you do that as a community, the better. You mentioned just like with nursing and how difficult and tough it could be, because you're one in an emergency. So that's just like high levels of stress, fast-paced environment.
yeah.
But then two is like you have to deal with other people, as well who are within that. So could you speak more to that? Like how have you either separated yourself when you were going through nursing school or now that you are a nurse? Like how have you separated yourself from like the mentality of, I guess, the crowd? Because the crowd can panic, the crowd can freak out, but an individual can think through some things and be logical and all those things. So could you speak to that experience?
Yeah. I think that I guess when it comes to like Being in the emergency room, you're meeting new type of people all day, every day, and it can be overwhelming. But I think like when you keep a calm mind, just kind of focus on this is a person that needs help right now, and I'm helping this person. I'm individualizing my care for this person. It kind of makes things a bit easier instead of it trying to be like, I need to help everybody all at once. It's how can I help this one person right now in their time of need? Like, and I think just a mindset of like kind of change my mindset between that because before I felt like I was very overwhelmed where it got to the point where I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know how to help everybody all at once and make sure that uh, I guess I'm keeping a calm, steady mind. Um, but over time, I think just when you're in your daily practice, it kind of starts to come to a bit where it's I just need to slow down, think for a second, and just help these individuals as individuals.
That makes it. It's just like one step at a time. It
Step at
sounds
a
like
time.
just yeah, and I feel like that it can be so easy to overcomplicate a thing, especially when we want to do well at it, or we feel like other people really depend on us. And I can imagine, being in that environment, it's like you have both of those. Like people
Yeah.
need your help and they need it now.
Yes.
So it's just like having that individualized care, but also having this sense of inner peace. It sounds like you have to know how to maneuver your own thoughts or fears, even because I'm not sure if some people who are nurses are like afraid of blood. They it could be a thing. It's like I don't know what conditioning, what training y'all had to deal with that, just the exposure. But some people probably still have some things, that I'm unaware of. I don't know, but yeah, it's just to kind of get yourself in that headspace that somebody needs my help, somebody needs my care, whatever I have going on, I can deal with it, but just not now. Like I
Yeah.
need to rechannel, probably some things in this moment. That can be a tough thing. It sounds like. So it sounds like you have a very, very difficult job, externally and internally.
Physically, mentally, spiritually, all the above. All at once.
Yeah. Yeah, that's wow. I mean, just talking with you now is like I'm realizing that more and more. Like, wow, nurses are like got a lot going on.
And it's like when you're in the emergency room or like just in anybody's room, like honestly, it's more than just like the physical care that you give. Sometimes those people need just an outlet, just somebody to talk to outside of their family or anybody else in their life, just to vent. And sometimes it's best, I just go in and I'm just a listening ear. I may not give my advice, may not give my opinion because that may not be my place to give my opinion, but I'm just there to be a listening ear, just so that way, because sometimes that can really drive their blood pressure and all the other things that we look at on our side. It can drive all those things up. So it's what best can I do for this person to help them get them to a steady state, I guess. Like what can I do? So sometimes it's just being a listening ear, letting them vent, letting them talk because that's all they need. Uh, and then I would say, yeah, that's probably one of the biggest things that I've seen so far.
Okay, very cool. You mentioned something I want to circle back on that too. Just the just kind of like what you like to do for fun and like hang out and stuff and just kind of get out there. And one of those things I've seen like within the community is the would you rathers. It's like I feel like you go in on the would you rathers and it ties into that self-care piece for me that you mentioned. Like you have to take care of yourself, like find the things you enjoy and make sure you do those things. And it's like you have a lot of those things there. So could you speak to any of those, like why you got so engaged with that section, like when it first came out for you?
Yeah, the would you rather's, I feel like it's like a fun, like creative, wild thing. Like you just kind of that one you can really put your input all in it. I'm trying to remember what was a good one. Honestly, that's probably the easiest way for me to like just get in there and interact with people. Honestly, it's lighthearted. It's not. I mean, you can get deep about a would you rather. I, it can really cause some good discussion as well.
Mhm.
So I think that's probably why I jumped so hard at the would you rather because it's lighthearted. You can have some deep discussions with it, and probably the easiest way to interact with people or get to know somebody, break the ice, if anything.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I pulled up some here on the app to see because oh, this one has like the most comments. Oh yeah, Hulu or Netflix. That was like a big debate going on there. Hulu or Netflix, just to give people an idea of like what are some of the
Yeah.
would you rather Hulu or Netflix, thriller or action? What was this other one? Hold on, it's loading. Salty or sweet. And
Mhm.
they all have like for people who don't know, they have you probably can't see it on here. But it's like little images, little fun images that you can just like kind of get a visual picture for. Other people like to go kind of a different direction with it sometimes. Like for thriller or action, it could be they're thinking like movie categories, but they're also thinking probably something else like
Yeah.
that goes into thriller action, or just like this one, like skydive or scuba dive. So, like Deke said, just little fun things, lighthearted, no pressure. You know, it's just
No pressure,
what type of thinker are you, or what would you do in this situation? And you may
Yeah.
connect with other people who think that way, or they may shed a light on something like, huh, I never looked at it like that before, but
Mhm.
now I know that that's how people look at this thing.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. That's cool. Yeah, that's again intention. It matches with the outcome, which is what I love to do with this conversation and with other conversations where, because you know how frustrating it can be when you intend to do or say something, but then somebody takes it the wrong way and it's like, no,
Like,
I take it back.
let's run that back. Come on.
Yeah,
Let me
give
actually
it
reel you
back.
in. Let me tell you what I wanted to actually tell you.
Exactly, exactly. So like this is helpful, you know, to know that okay, this intention of we want to bring community together. We want to have some, of course, like a physical platform is great. Like if you have a meeting spot that you can go to, but you know, kind of I feel like 2020 showed everybody that that doesn't always happen or is the case, you know. And we just, you know, had snow. So it's like little things like that to where you may not be able to commute as much or go to physical places, you know. It's like we can still have this sense of community because that's something I felt like I didn't have like at the onset of 2020. Like I really started getting into some speaking activities, but then that's when things shut down. It's like, okay, great. Now I got to move these online models, you know, and make sure those are right. So always doing a lot of testing and always doing some retesting just to make sure, okay, this is the intention. We want people to feel this way. Let's put
Yeah.
it through these channels. You know, if it's a email, if it's a text message, if it's a video, if it's something that you see an article on Circle or something, like the Jam community, whatever you see, like the intention is getting through to you and you get something from it. And it's just like that thing. And this is the biggest thing I want people to understand is like it becomes yours, you know, at that point. Like the understanding, the skill set, the feeling that belongs to you at that point. So you can say you got it from this community, but ultimately it's like we want you to be that voice and you echo it. You know, you're the start point and it goes out
Yeah.
for your community, for your neighbors, for your peers, family, things like that. So
Mhm.
that's awesome. Yeah, great. Was there anything else? I think that was a lot, you know, of valuable, you know, again, feedback and just
Yeah.
conversation. But was there anything else that I guess you wanted to share with anybody who's like either looking into this thing, but I'm not sure about it, or anything like that?
Yeah. So I feel like, why not? I think that I always was looking for a community to like be a part of, or like brotherhood or something like that, just to be a part of, or like-minded people in general. So I think that even when it comes to the gym, I know we've talked about this a lot too. Like when it comes to the gym, having that accountability partner, and I feel like maybe that's something that Jam could do for you. You know, like it's a group of people like-minded, wanting to find a community, wanting to be able to express themselves, wanting to um, show or express their perspectives because everybody has a different outlook on different things. So I think that in the community, you can, I mean, why not join it? You know, you can only benefit yourself. It's not like it's going to be a negative thing or not going to be able to shine like positive lights. I feel like it's only really positivity that I've seen and that I've got out of it. And I'm appreciative of it. I think that when you first told me about it, I was like, oh yeah, like I'll join. Why not? You
Yeah.
know? And so the fact that I'm reading emails and I'm looking at discussions and it's like coming, it pops up in my head randomly, like, should I spend this $20 on pizza or not? And it's like, maybe not, maybe not, maybe not this time,
Yeah.
maybe next time. So yeah, I think that when you get on Gem, you read some discussion posts, you interact, you become interactive with other people, socialize, and really fun videos to watch, really good information that you can take in, and I would definitely recommend it to other people.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And if anything, what would you say, again, if anything, if it's not, that's fine. What differentiates that this platform with like other, I guess, sites that you've probably seen before?
I think that the size of the community and as like how personal it can get, like I think that like when like let's say even on the would you rather's and like we're commenting and things like that. Especially because I know you and I know some of the people like it's when I'm commenting and I'm saying these things. I think it was even on like a skydive or a scuba dive. I felt like me and Cassie were kind of going back and forth, and it was like, all right, I see your perspective. You kind of see mine. We agree to disagree, but it's good. It's fun. It's
Yeah.
so. Uh, I think to me that's probably one of the better things because I think maybe on other platforms you kind of talk with somebody and that's it. Like talk to them one time, probably won't speak to them again. Or be able to recognize them. But like on there, it's I'm seeing you constantly and I'm kind of interacting with you constantly. So I probably say that's probably one of the big differences that I've seen.
Okay, cool. That's helpful. Thank you. Sounds like a just like a cohort. It's like you're gonna
Yeah.
be this group and you're gonna see it grow, and it's like new members are gonna be added. And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. Like you came on mile 5. I've been here since mile 1, you know.
Yeah.
They joined at mile 2, you know. So
Yeah.
that and that's the idea is just to have that that snowball effect. You know, it's just like it starts with this small idea, you know, with a small group of people, but then it just slowly starts to grow over time. And then as it grows and that momentum builds, it's like the energy of the group naturally is going to be heightened. You know, it's
Yeah.
like I can still do what I'm doing, you know, on a regular basis. But it's like I won't be the only one who's like, you know, whose face you see on things. It's like other comments will start coming in, other posts will start coming in because people give themselves that permission that hey, I have like something to say, I have something to add to this. And just like if you're just one that's in the background, it's like that's okay. It's just like the whole purpose is just to get community how you get it. So some people they're the observers. They're like, I just want to see what's going on. And I'll comment whenever I feel like this is my thing, you know. Or they just stay in the, you know, the gaming session to gamify things. Or some people, all right, I want to get all the classes you got, you know, or I want challenges, you know. So definitely check out the Circle community, guys. I'll put the link in the description somewhere so you guys can see it, get a free trial, access it, just play around with it, that whole thing. And then you can meet with Deke. You can meet with myself, other people who are in the community, who are just trying to grow and become better. Like Deke said, it's just a group of like-minded individuals. We're looking at like lifelong learners, so people who just believe that learning is going to be an until the day I die. Like I just need to learn a new skill set. I don't have it all. I don't know it all. And we understand that we need other people who may have the answers that we're looking for. So appreciate you, Deke, again, just for hopping on, sharing your experience, your insight, all those things. That's very helpful. Kind of like charged me up a little bit. I was like, all right, let me get back in there and make some more edits, you know. Again, thanks again, man. Really appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me. I
Oh yeah,
appreciate it.
absolutely. All right, guys. This is Martavius and Deke. You guys, we'll see you guys later.
See ya.